Okay, so the next lesson is going to be on page 7. A couple people were confused with combining like terms. There was an Edpuzzle video for that you were supposed to take notes on, and I left that for page 5. So page 6 was solving multi-step equations. It's with a variable on one side. This one you're going to have an x on both sides. So that's page 7. So solving equations. We'll put with x on both sides. So I always say this little saying. It's called "Please don't call me after midnight." So the P, for please, stands for parentheses. Don't is D. That stands for distribute. Call, and I'm just going to go ahead and write the me after midnight. So C stands for combine like terms. The M, this is what we're going to be doing a lot today. Move the variable. So if you have a variable on both sides, you've got to move one. Okay, the A stands for add or subtract. The M stands for multiply or divide. Now once you get here at the add or subtract, you're at a two-step equation. Okay, so that was please don't call me after midnight. That'll help you solve any multi-step equation ever if you go through all of these steps from top to bottom. So we're going to do a couple examples, of course. First example we'll do is this one. Four in parentheses z plus 3 in parentheses minus 4 equals 8 in parentheses 1/2 z plus 1. Okay, always draw a line where your equal sign is. First, if there are parentheses, which there are, we're going to have to distribute. So you check for parentheses in the first step, then you distribute. So we're going to take that 4 and we're going to distribute it here and here. So 4 times z, 4z, 4 times 3 is plus 12. And keep everything really organized, nice and neat. Bring down your minus 4, bring down your equal sign. Now we've got another thing we've got to distribute. So 8 times 1/2 z. 8 times 1/2 is 4z. Don't let fractions scare you. 8 times 1 is plus 8. Now, we're here, combine like terms. So that just means on one side of the equal sign. So we check over here, are there like terms? Yes. There's positive 12 and negative 4, or 12 minus 4. That gives us, bring down your 4z, 12 minus 4 would give us plus 8, and then bring down the 4z plus 8. This is what we call, this is actually going to lead into our next lesson. I didn't realize that this was going to lead into that. But if it's the same on both sides like this, 4z plus 8 equals 4z plus 8, this is what we call an identity. And that means it has infinite solutions. So whatever you plugged in for z over here on this side, it's going to equal the same thing on this side because these are exactly the same. So if you have something like that, recognize automatically it's an infinite solution. You can stop right there and it's infinite solution. But if we tried to solve it, we would move a variable by subtracting one of the variables, so minus 4z. These cancel. We get 8 equals 8 because the z's both cancel out. Add or subtract, so we'd subtract an 8 from both sides. And that'd give us 0 equals 0 on both sides, which is true, which makes it an identity. It makes it infinite solutions. Okay, let's try the next one. Let's try this one. 4 in parentheses two x minus 1 equals 2x plus 8. Okay, always draw, I call it drawing your river. Draw a line where the equal sign is. If there are parentheses, we distribute. So there are parentheses, we're going to distribute. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4 or minus 4. Bring down your 2x plus 8. Now, combine like terms. Sometimes we can skip this step. 8x and negative 4 are not like terms, so we cannot combine them. 2x and 8 are not like terms, so we cannot combine them, so we skip that step. Next, we're going to move a variable. If you have a variable on both sides, I always say pick the smaller one because it makes life a little bit easier. 2x, we're going to subtract it from both sides. 8x minus 2x is 6x minus 4 equals, this cancels, and we have to bring down our 8. Now it's back to those easy two-step equations that we're used to. Add 4 to both sides. We have 6x equals 12. And then divide by 6. X equals 2. Now to double check yourself, you can always plug that back in to where x is and see if that works. Next one. Negative 3m plus 2 equals 6m minus 7. Draw your line where your equal sign is. If there are parentheses, we distribute, but there are no parentheses. Combine like terms. Let's look. Negative 3m and 2, we can't combine those. 6m and negative minus 7, can't combine those. So we're going to start right at move a variable. Our variable is negative 3m and 6m. Pick the smaller one. Now, if it's a negative number, like this, to cancel it out, I add it. Because if we subtracted it, if we subtract negative 3m, that's just like adding it, okay? So we'll add 3m to both sides. This cancels. We get 2 equals 9m minus 7. Now we're right back to a two-step equation. Add 7 to both sides. You get 9 equals 9m. Divide by 9. And m equals 1. Okay. One more. We're going to do 2m minus 6 equals 2m plus 8. Okay, this is going to be one of those special case scenarios again. And the reason why I know that is, if we look, 2m and 2m, that looks kind of how this did up here with 4z and 4z. It had the same variable. And if it does, I'll show you what happens with that. So let's try to solve. As always, draw your river. Now, we've got to parentheses and distribute. We don't have that step. So let's skip to combine like terms. We can't combine these two together. We can't combine those two together. So we skip that one. Let's go straight to move a variable. So we got 2m and 2m. Subtract a 2m. And automatically that cancels on both sides. So we have a weird situation here. You got negative 6. And we're left with 8. We have no variable. So now let's try to add or subtract. Let's add 6 to both sides. Okay, we get 0 on this side equals 14. Now, if we got 0 equals 0 up here, that's a true statement. That is always going to be true. Okay? Here, 0 is not equal to 14. It is not equal to 14. Never will be. So this is what we called, so this is not true. This is what we call a no solution. This is a no solution, okay? Nothing will ever work if you plug it in to both sides. It won't ever equal the same thing on both sides. So it is a no solution. I hope this helps. Have a great day.